best diet on the market these days? Well, Atkins is starting to lose steam, so what will take its place? Joining us now with a well-rounded diet is John Allen, who's the president of MyTrainer.com. John, nice to have you here.
Pleasure to be here, Connie.
All right, so first of all, I have a couple questions. We've brought some really good examples of food that we'll talk about in a second, but we seem to be eating less. And we seem to be eating more healthy food, but we're gaining weight. So are we really not eating more healthy food?
Well, that's actually the myth. The myth is we're not eating really healthy food. We're eating 93% animal products and refined foods. And a lot of these foods are promoted as healthy, when in fact they may be rich in some nutrients, but as a whole they're nutrient poor.
I was just going to say, when you say animal, actually I think of chicken and steak as a lot of protein.
Yes. Well, protein's a whole nother discussion, but the truth of the matter is when we eat foods that are rich in some nutrients, but as a whole are nutrient poor, meaning they're missing actual whole categories of nutrients, your body is always striving to get what it needs to succeed. So if you eat a food that's nutrient poor, missing whole categories of nutrients or very low in certain nutrients, your body is going to be driven to eat more.
Okay.
So when we eat some of these foods over here, what ends up happening is we get full, but we're left unfulfilled, and we're driven to overconsume.
Right. It's almost like when you have a candy bar or something and you think, wow, that was really satisfying, and later on you're just nuts.
20 minutes later, you're out there rummaging to say, hey, I need something more.
Right, throw some potato chips on that candy bar.
So we're told we're going to eat less?
Right.
How can you eat less when you're driven to consume? It's like having your foot on the gas pedal on the brake at the exact same time.
Right.
That's a problem.
Okay.
That's why diets don't work.
So one of the things you say is don't so much eat less, but just eat smart foods.
Well, when you eat better, when you eat better quality food, like for example, this is a nutrient-rich food, when you eat a better quality food, you will naturally eat less because your needs have been met.
Okay.
Do you see that?
So let's talk about, you break it really into kind of three different things.
Yes.
Let's talk about the first one, which is a nutrient-rich diet.
Right.
That would be this plate here,
Nutrient-rich, right
Okay,
here.
what do you call nutrient-rich? What do you like about that?
Nutrient-rich, here you've got a whole grain bread, 9 grain. You've got a whole grain and bean burger. By the way, I bought this on my way up here this morning. So you can eat nutrient-rich anywhere. You've got sweet potato chunks, you've got green beans, you've got salads, some maple miso dressing. It's a great tasting meal that is entirely nutrient-rich.
Okay.
All right, all of the nutrients I need to succeed are there.
Heavy on the vegetables, which we don't do enough of.
Well, vegetables are the world's best food. They have all the nutrient categories across the board. You'll maintain your ideal weight the easiest. And if you eat them in great tasting ways, you're going to have an amazing body.
Yeah, okay, good. Will you promise?
I promise. That's the world's best food.
Okay, good. I'm holding you to it, John Allen. How about right here? What do we have here? Because now that looks like a perfect meal for me, but
well, traditionally in America, we think that that's a very healthy dish.
Sure.
You've got chicken, you've got a white potato loaded with cheese, you've got a small vegetable on the side here, and you've got some potato chips. Problem is that the animal protein, by the way, this is not about being vegan or vegetarian. Okay. I just eat animal products in small quantities. This is a nutrient-poor food.
Because of all the fat.
It's not only what it doesn't have in it, all right, but it's what it actually has in it. It has saturated fat, it has cholesterol, it has all kinds of hormones and things that you don't want in your body.
Okay.
By the same token, it's got no carbohydrate, no fiber, very little water. It's low to no in vitamins and minerals. It's got some, all right? No phytochemicals. There's 40,000 phytochemicals.
So quickly, if you were going to change that meat out to make that better, what would you make it if you were a meat eater?
I would change it to this, okay? And I would, if I wanted to eat meat, I would maybe put a small amount of meat on that.
Okay.
If you eat a dish that's 80 to 90% nutrient rich, small amounts of animal products, you've completely flipped the equation.
Okay, now do you like this potato?
Well, in the nutrient density chart, which we can show in a minute, that's on the lower end of the scale, but that's not the issue. The issue is that it's loaded with more cheese than, believe me, calorically you want.
Okay, so we want to take the cheese out. The potato is okay, but we really would probably want a sweet potato instead, right?
Yeah, you'd want a sweet potato.
Okay.
And you want to do it without the cheese. You see,
now, and I see you stole my breakfast off my desk, so.
I hope I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I didn't, everybody, I didn't.
Fortunately not. But this is really what we grab as Americans on the run.
We grab a cup of coffee, we grab a Danish. I mean, how that got defined as breakfast in America, I have no idea. But this doesn't even fit the nutrient-rich, nutrient-poor discussion. I call this nutrient barren. Because you've stripped out all the nutrients, you've left in the pleasure-stimulating chemicals, and what you have here, ladies and gentlemen, is a great tasting addiction.
Yeah.
Okay, and a whole pleasurable way to future problems.
So you love it, it tastes good, you ate it, it gave your body nothing.
And feel like heck afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not even worth the pleasure on the front end because the back end is no good.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, John, thank you for being here. That was really cool.
Connie, it was a pleasure.
Nice. All right, we're going to arm wrestle over who gets the good meal?
You win.
Okay, all right. Thanks for being here.